How's it going? Well, it's me. Who else? Anyway, excuse me. It's time now for part number 4 of the Warrior. The Academy Models 1/35th Scale Warrior MCV. And we're now at the stage where we're doing the detail painting. And then we're going to start weathering. Okay? Glass coating, decals, all that. It's got to be done. And as you know yourself, when you're doing that, you got loads of time in your hands in between, you know, letting it dry, and you know, so we're doing little bits. So I decided to do a little base for it. Okay, if anybody remembers the base I made for the Hetzer, I started off with a nice piece of darkish wood, clay centre, used das clay for the centre piece, and then on some grass tufts and things. This one's going to be a little bit easier, because it's Iraq and it's going to be the desert. Okay, the desert. So we've got a nice piece of dark wood. Okay, just a piece of an offcut. Sanded down the edges just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of you know, take the sharpness off it. Okay, so I'm going to cover that then with some cling film or cellophane wrap. I don't know what they call it in America. I'm trying to think of what they call it. Saran wrap. That's what the Americans call it. We call it cling film in Ireland and England, and I think the rest of Europe call it something similar. Okay, so cling film. Cover the board with cling film, so the clay doesn't sort of get to areas and doesn't dirty up the rest of the board, because when the clay is wet it's sticky and it'll get into the wood grain and it'll stain it all up. Right, clay we're going to use is this. Okay, das air drying clay. Okay, I'm going to do kind of a here we go, kind of an oval type shape, just covering the center section. Okay, with the das clay, and then I'm going to implant the vehicle into it, just to get track marks, so it's sort of track leading up to where I'm going to go. Try and make them pretty deep, because I'm going to be covering this then again with this stuff here. Right, some very fine sifted sand. Okay, some extremely fine sifted sand, and that's going to give me my desert base. Simple as that. That's all I'm going to do. Not going to bother with cacti or anything like that. So it's just going to be a little simple, just a little display piece, little display base for that. Okay, for my warrior. So I can do those little bits and pieces in between getting the paint drying and things like that, because the clay takes a couple of days to dry itself, and you know, things take time, and it's nice to have other little bits and pieces to do in the meanwhile. So anyway lads, I'm going to carry on. I got to get the detail painting done, and decals have to go on, and we got to do some weathering. So stay tuned, we'll get all that done. Okay, so I've just finished the detail painting and put on the decals. There's only a couple of little decals to go on. I'm after making a hay, was 2 of them. Totally my fault, and I'm after giving it a glass coat, literally just after giving it a glass coat. That's why some parts probably still, you can still see, if you look up here, it's got a kind of a milky white look to them. Okay, a little bit of milky white stuff on it. That's the glass coat. Okay, this is the glass coat I use. I use Airclad 2 Aqua Glass. Okay, and it's the ALC 600. Okay, which is the Aqua Glass. Absolutely fabulous stuff. You only need a small bit of it. Spray from, not up too close, spray from a bit of a distance. It will sort of form a kind of a milky-ish look over it, but that does go away very quickly. Within a half an hour that milkiness is gone, and you end up with a really good strong glass coat for, you know, if you want to do oil weathering, anything at all is absolutely brilliant. Works even better for aircraft, so I'm told. But for armour, it works well for me. At least then when I give it, I use kind of enamel paints for my wash. Sometimes I use the enamel wash, and if you don't gloss coat it beforehand, you end up darkening the whole bloody model. So by using a gloss coat, you can, define where your wash goes. If it goes anywhere where you don't want it to go, very easy to to clean off, so you're not ending up darkening the whole model. I'm not going to give it much of a wash. It's just in some areas it will need a good bits of wash. Other areas just a little bit pin wash on all the rivets here. Just give them the tiniest little touch with a bit of wash and a brush, and that'll kind of define them a bit. Then I'll give it a dull coat, and after you give it the dull coat, then I'll give it a quick dry brushing, small bit of pigments, just a bit of dust and things like that, and then that'll be it. That'll be finished. So almost finished the Warrior. Overall, it's been going great, as you can imagine by the way I've been talking about it so far. That's the great thing about Academy kits, and also Tamiya kits. The good old reliables for fit and things like that, and I've had no problems with them. So there we go. That's it after getting its gloss coat and its dull coat. Okay, and the detail washing is all done, or the detail painting is all done on that again. So I'm going to leave that dry for about a good 24 hours, just so it kind of dries in and cures and hardens and all that. Might even give it a little bit more, you never know. So that's good. The gloss coat to dry and set. Then I'm going to give it a slight little bits of pin washing and washes in areas where I want them to sort of stick out a bit. Then I'm going to give it a dull coat, like I said, and then a bit of dry brushing. So we'll have a look at it when I've done the bit of the pin washing done on it. Might even show you a bit of doing a little bit of it, and then we'll see how we go on from there. Okay, what steps we'll go to, whether it needs a bit more weathering or whether it doesn't need more weathering. I know here on the video that these borders are looking quite strong. Well, they're not actually that strong in real life. They're visible, but they're not as strong, as visible as that. Hopefully that will kind of sort itself out through a bit of more weathering and things like that, because it looks grand when you look at it, but when I look at it, say in the video there now, I can see the screen now just in front of me, and these transitions there, they look fair dark. So I'm going to leave it at that, lads, and like I said, we'll give it the dry brushing and the weathering in a minute. Okay. Now, I suppose before I get in and show you what I'm doing, I might as well tell you what I'm doing. I'm after giving the model a nice black wash, okay? But I'm after giving it an overall wash. I know I said I was only going to do little bits of pin washes and things like that, but I got carried away and I gave the whole thing a wash, and I'm after leaving it dry in. Okay, now, I've already got the turret done, whereas I got it cleaned back. Okay, and I'm happy with that. That looks grand, and once that gets the dull coat on it, that should be come up rather nice for what I'm hoping it'll turn out like. Okay, so what I'm doing is, right, as you can see now, I'm after doing a bit of the top of it here. Okay, I'm after getting a bit of it done, and as you can see here, it's much darker. You've got the little tide lines and things from the wash, just as it gathers and things like that. Okay, so what I'm using is a little bit of Vallejo thinners. I think it's Vallejo, is it? It's airbrush thinners anyway. Smart thinners. Don't know what make it is. There you go. You can see what it is yourselves. Okay. A little bit of airbrush thinners. Cotton bud. wet the cotton bud in the thinners with a little bit of tissue. Just give it a little roll. You don't want too much on, but you still want it moist. We like moist. Okay, so in a circular motion, keep that, you know, spinning and moving around. I should have kind of prolong it a bit, stop it getting extra hairy. Okay, what we're doing is removing most of the excess off there with that. Okay, following around the panels, leaving it, because it gives a nice grimy look. Now obviously it depends on what you're going for. If you're going for a really clean model, you know, that hasn't been out sort of out in the field for a while, it wouldn't have built up so much dirt and dust and gunk and God knows what else. But if it's been out for a while, it's going to get dirty. It is going to get dirty. Grime builds up in areas that don't get used. Okay, I'm keep rubbing off the camera. I do apologise. Probably wobbling away there to mad, like mad. Okay. And as you can see, that's starting to clean up rather nicely now. Okay. But still leaving your model nice and dirty. That's where the old glass cut helps underneath. Now if I hadn't glass coated that before I started, would not have been able to do this. Now you have to be careful, because you can see here one or two areas what's happening is it's going down a layer too much, and it's removing some of the original paint. Okay, some of the paint, it's even, in other words, it's taken off the glass cut as well. Okay, so you got to be kind of careful with that, not to overwork it in any one area. If you go over an area and it still isn't good enough, if you haven't got enough on, don't scrub it. Leave it. Leave the thinners dry off, evaporate away, and then go back to that area. Okay, so see what I'm doing. I'm getting all the excess off. Just then leaving it dirty and grimy and things like that. Okay, so that's the effect I'm going for. I still have some of the front ones to do. I've got the side panels to do. So I still have a lot of work to get done. So I'll get that done. We'll go and have a look at it then when that's finished, before I give it the dull coat and continue on with more different weathering effects. Okay. Right, so here it is now. I'm after giving it it's kind of a clean down, shall we say. I'm after cleaning off all the excess wash and things that I want to get removed and stuff. Now after that, it will need a little bit of touch-ups here and there, because one or two areas where it kind of got a bit too much removed, like here. There's definitely a spot there that needs a bit of attention to it. Oh, I'll take that from the camera now. Silly John. Alright, there's a spot here there that needs a bit of attention. Don't know whether the glass coat didn't get in there or whatever, but it's after going down through to the the black and white undercoat, and down to the actual plastic itself as well, down to the original plastic. Like, remember, you are using thinners on it, so it is going to take off a bit of paint as well as, I mean, because that's what you're doing. Wash is made of paint, so you want to remove that. So you end up going to remove paint as well on top of it. Obviously, I could have given it another blast or two of glass coat. Should I, you know, in hindsight, I should have given it an extra bit of the glass coat. Alright, as well here on the side of this wheel, I'm after rubbing off a bit of the black, so that just needs to be touched up. Not really too worried about that. But the overall effect I have, and I'm quite happy with it, because I know that once I give it the dull coat, it'll come up a lot better than that. Okay. I do like the effect here on the side. That came up absolutely fabulous, really did. Now it looks better in, you know, as I'm looking at it than I do when I look at the close-up pictures of it. You see, if you look at the close-ups, you can see the nuts and bolts and things and the grime around them. I think that looks spot on, shall we say. Right. In around the top now here as well. Okay, it just makes it look that little bit more realistic. Okay, I think, I mean, it's like, it's all down to personal views, and the main thing at the end of the day is that you're happy with what you make, you know. If you're not happy with it, then you're not happy with it, and you need to go back to the drawing board. But if you get to the stage where you say to yourself, yeah, that's basically what I was trying to get, and believe me, that is as close to what I was trying to get as I can possibly do. I'm not an expert when it comes down to these things. Yeah, it could be a little bit tidier in around here, but overall I'm happy with it. Like when you go in close up, you can see the extra bits of mush, shall we say, we call it mush, you know. You can see the extra little bits that are on it, but if you look here as well, see where that kind of peeling effect comes off. I like that, you know. That's from using the thinners and things, because it does, it kind of scrapes away little bits and pieces, and it makes it look very, very real, very, very realistic, especially if the wash catches in around the bolts and things. I think that looks very good. Right, up around the top here then, again, in the front, the engine hatch. Like I said, I got to fix that little spot in there, but overall that's looking well, looking nice and grimy, nice and well used, which is what the effect I'm going for. So now I'm going to fix those one or two little blemishes here and there. Might spot another little bit of clean up to be done. Just as I said it now, I spotted a bit in here. In around there, it's just a little bit too black. I can clean that out. Same idea, won't use a cotton bud this time, but use a brush. Okay, same idea. A little bit of thinners on your brush. Clean off any excess. Get into the area there. That will slowly kind of clean that area up a bit. Kind of looks like smoke damage, doesn't it? Okay. At the moment it does. But by getting in there, now see what I'm saying now, that's removing paint, so I'll go back in there with a bit of paint, and then just have to weather over that. But other than that, like I said, one or two little areas, I won't always get to it because it's down to the quality of your glass coat, and like I said, I give that one coat, and if I'd realised I was actually going to end up doing this to it, I would have given it a second coat. It was just when I started going around these things the dot was just that little bit too big, and as I was cleaning it off, then it kind of discoloured this section. So I decided to go over the whole lot, and I went over the whole lot with the wash. Like I said, hindsight is brilliant. If I'd known I was going to go that heavy with the wash, I would have used a second or even a third coat of the gloss, just to give that extra bit of layer of protection, so I wouldn't be removing base layers of paint, just the wash. So next step now for this is to finish off those one or two little blemish areas, and then give it a dull coat. We'll have a look at it then after the dull coat, and we'll have a look at it and see what that does to it. Okay, it's all trial and error, the whole thing. That's what I find about weathering. It's always trial and error. If you keep going for the same thing over and over again, it gets fair bloody boring. That's why I like to kind of trial and error it. Like when I give it the dull coat now, I want to see how the whole thing changed colour. Okay, and the way you can do that is by using the original colour and giving dry brushing in a couple of areas, and that'll make some areas stand out as well, quite nice, especially likes of bolts and nuts and things, corners, edges, all that kind of stuff. So I'll do that. We'll have a look at it and decide what I'm going to do next, and that's it. So next step, dull coat. Okay, so here it is in its almost but not quite finished state. It's still got dull coated. Finished cleaning off all the excess wash. Happy enough with that. Touched up a couple of areas that needed to be touched up. So the next step now for this is to give it a dull coat. For that now I'm going to be using Tamiya again, XF 86 flat clear. I like that. I like the old flat clear from Tamiya. It's a good one. It is a good one. Their gloss ain't the best. Depends on what you're doing. Their gloss is kind of hit and miss, really. But I do like the aqua gloss from Alclad. That's my go-to gloss lately, and I do like this, the XF86 from Tamiya flat clear. So I'm going to give it a blast of them, flat clear, then finish off the weathering. But that's it for this video. So if you want to see the finished product, you'll have to wait until the next one. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off the last few bits and pieces of it and then do a final reveal. So that's it, like I said, for this video. Thank you for taking your time out in sticking with it. I'm happy with how it's come out so far. Still a little bit to do, not very much, almost there now, and sort of into the home stretch, and the home stretch is nearly finished. Even at that, just like I said, just a few little bits and pieces to do. So until then, lads, take care, enjoy your modelling, don't forget to be nice to one another, enjoy the hobby, that's all I can say, and go out and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it, and I'll be with you for the final reveal of this fabulous little Academy 1/35 scale Warrior MCV. So until then, lads, stay safe, enjoy your modelling, and don't forget to give the old video a thumbs up and subscribe if you've not already subscribed. Thank you, lads. Talk to you later.